Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to say much on this bill. I just want to start by mentioning the following. That Honorable Ndindi Nyoro is actually the 6th chair of this committee, both the current Budget and Appropriation Committee and the predecessor committee. The first one was Martin Ogindo, then we came to Elias Mbao, then Mutava Musimi, Imani Chungwa, Kanini Kega, and now we have Ndindi Nyoro. I must say that Ndindi Nyoro is coming out. I want to repeat this again as a very good member of this committee because you explain a lot to members to understand what is contained in the budget estimates. But allow me just to say the following, Mr. Speaker. First, Public Accounts Committee has a responsibility, yes, and as the chair of that committee, I give my guarantee to this House that by mid-July, which is next month, you will receive the first report from our committee of 2020-2021. And we intend to complete 2021-2022 by October this year, so that from next year, February, we'll be dealing with those accounts which were presided over by the current principal secretaries. Therefore, that will enhance accountability. Mr. Speaker, I agree with the chair that certain expenditures under recurrent are actually capital in nature, and that education is one of them. Actually, I've been saying before that education we should consider looking at it as a capital expenditure, because there is nothing as important. Investment, there is no investment as important as investing in education. But Mr. Speaker, I want the chair of the Budget Committee to be looking at the luxury lines all the time when we are doing the budgets. And the luxury lines are basically 4. That is the domestic travels, foreign travels, hospitality, and then fuel and maintenance lines of our budgets. This is where we have a lot of wastages. But I also want to appeal to this House and the country at large that we need also to consider what is happening in the counties. There is overemployment in the counties. You find a new governor coming into place and hiring drivers, and the drivers who were used by the previous regime are earning a salary without vehicles to drive. Really, the role of a driver is to drive a vehicle. So if you have put a driver to earn a salary without a vehicle assigned to that driver, honestly, this is serious wastage. I don't know whether it is what kind of fear that they have, that they end up now fearing the drivers of the previous. I wonder whether the drivers would want to kill them and in the process also kill themselves. But Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, the problem again in this country, and you see, we need to employ prudent, efficient, and effective utilization or application of our resources to realize economy in the use of resources. I am disturbed, Mr. Speaker, with the 2 things. Emerging cases of corruption. When we were campaigning in the last election, both sides were in agreement on one thing, that this country is at a difficult period in the history of this country, in terms of debt repayment, in terms of generally managing to pay for government services. That we were in agreement. And we agreed that we need to do something on wastages. That was also agreed. Probably where we disagreed is how to actualize the same. Fight against corruption must be prioritized. Mr. Speaker, we are seeing financing of luxury. That is what is bringing this country down. We are financing luxury and bloated government. There is no need to enlarge the size of this government any further. We have too much government in place, both at the national level and at the county level. Kenyans are overrepresented. Kenyans feel overburdened by government. A very heavy government weighing on our people and sinking this economy. We need to reduce the size of government, not by retrenching people, but by not creating any additional offices. There are unnecessary wastage of resources and luxury. And I want to be very clear, my last comment. You find a cabinet secretary downtrodden everywhere. And like the one for where Honorable Kagombe comes from, the one for trade. Honestly, I don't even think he represents this country. If what he's saying locally, Mr. Speaker, causes a lot